A man was about to hop on his motorcycle and head home when suddenly a heavyset guy rushed over and climbed onto the back seat. Before Jack could even process what was happening, the passenger was already urging him to get moving. Not familiar with the destination the guy mentioned, Jack took several wrong turns before finally getting him to the right place. When the passenger asked how much he owed, it suddenly dawned on Jack. He'd been mistaken for a motorcycle taxi driver. Since this was his first time giving anyone a ride for money, he had no clue what to charge. "Whatever you think is fair," he said offhandedly. To his surprise, the guy tossed him a handful of large bills. Looking at the cash in his hand, Jack couldn't help but marvel at how generous city folks were. Filled with excitement, he decided to pick up another passenger. It didn't take long for Jack to get a harsh lesson in human nature. His next passenger turned out to be a total deadbeat who refused to pay after getting off. When Jack hurried after him to settle up, the guy had the nerve to claim he'd already paid and even demanded change. As their argument heated up, the passenger, figuring Jack was from out of town, decided to squeeze him for more money. He even threatened to report Jack to a passing patrol officer for operating an illegal taxi service. Seeing things going south, Jack decided to cut his losses and took off on his bike. On his way home, stuck in traffic, a businessman walked straight up and hopped on Jack's motorcycle. After reaching his destination, the man said he needed to grab money from his office and asked Jack to wait outside. Given his earlier experience, Jack couldn't help feeling anxious, worried he might get stiffed again. While waiting, he noticed an old antenna lying around the construction site. It reminded him how their TV at home had been getting terrible reception. The kids hadn't watched anything in ages. He nervously asked the site manager about it, and surprisingly, the guy said he could take it. Just then, the businessman emerged and casually tossed 3 10,000 yuan bills before walking away. Jack stood there frozen, staring at the enormous bills in his hand. More money than he'd ever held at once. This was 3 months' salary. He immediately realized the man must have overpaid by mistake. His conscience kicked in, and he ran after him to return the extra money, but the businessman had already driven off. Jack headed home with the antenna, feeling pretty good about everything. He started thinking that maybe driving a motorcycle taxi could actually support his family. Passing a fruit stand, he spotted some plump, fresh jujubes and remembered they hadn't had fresh fruit at home in ages. He couldn't resist buying 3 pounds as a treat for the kids. Unfortunately, the bumpy ride home caused more than half of them to spill out. Once home, Jack didn't even stop to rest. He climbed right up to the roof to install the antenna. Meanwhile, his wife washed the remaining jujubes and handed him one. As he bit into it, the sweet flesh burst in his mouth, and a contented smile spread across his face.